Hello my friends and welcome to my channel. Today I'm showing you two new great features in Spikeless AI module. First feature is multi-angle. It's a feature that will help you remove spikes created by camera lenses, something like Samyang 135, Sigma and so on. Everything that creates those spikes on stars via blades from the lens. It can go to 24 individual spikes and it can remove them by using this multi-angle feature. The second feature is still in the experimental phase, so you can play with it. It can remove those pesky dark lines that you tend to have on your Takahashis, and of course if you have a focuser in your tube on the Newtonian telescope, or you can have those pins from the primary mirror that creates those dark lines on the stars. So this is a feature that will improve those dark lines and the star will look more natural. Of course, it doesn't work on all the stars, but you can mask them and use the feature with the Star X Terminator to have a better result. Let the fun begin. Here is the new module. You have a star layer now, when you can choose Star X or Star Net. If it's not installed, it will show that it's not installed. I use Star X Terminator the most. This is the same as before. Now the new feature is multi-angle, and the experimental new feature is dark line repair. First, I want to show you this image of this beautiful cluster NGC 6910 taken by my friend Tomislav. Thank you for the image, my friend. And here you have this southern star that is near this cluster, and the spike of the star is actually going across the whole image, and that's actually a regular problem in Newtonian telescopes when you are photographing something near a bigger star, and the spike is actually doubled near the end. So how can we deal with this without cloning? Actually, it will be very difficult to clone because you have a nebula across the image and you would clone the signal of the nebula across the spike, and this will be a very difficult task. You'll have to crop it, but using Spikeless you can remove this. I will use my script dodge and burn. It will go live very soon. I'm just tweaking it a bit some more, but it will be a free module script for this kind of masking and dodging and burning. It has dodge and burn here, but it has also a masking tool inside it, and you can create masks via that module. So let me click on this. Let me go all the way up. I will just minimize softness and minimize the brush and just click it here like so. I will press Shift like in Photoshop and press here, and it will draw a line, perfect straight line across the whole image and across the spikes, the two spikes on the top and one spike on the bottom. Okay, now you can just create a mask, pressing this, apply the mask here. Let's minimize this, and now we have only selection of this particular line of the spike. Remove the not show, it's actually show or hide mask, so not remove, hide. Let's cancel this, and now, so the mask is on, is just hidden. We can now apply the direct stretched image just apply a model to the image, and voila, it's gone. It's that easy, my friends. The model successfully recognized this spike and removed it from the image. Let me zoom in just to see where it was. Oops. And now before, after. Zoom some more. Before, after. All the stars in the path of the spike are visible. So nothing is changed. We are not adding any signal where the spike was. It just is removed, and you can edit your image now with this part intact or not cropped or whatever. So it's easy to remove something like this from your images. So moving on to the next image, this is a Hubble image. It has some nasty spikes in the stars. I don't know from what is that, but this is just for a demonstration of the multi-angle feature. So if we now try to add a model on this, it will remove some of the spikes. Actually, it looks very nice now, but it will recognize some of the spikes, but not all of them. And that's the problem when we have multiple spikes from multiple nights on the stars, and we cannot remove all of the spikes that we want. So this feature actually can remove all the angles that are represented in the star, and it will calculate the angles of the spikes and it will remove them via this model. It will have several passes because it has to rotate the image and remove the spikes, and then rotate again and remove the spikes. This can be very CPU intensive, but if you have a GPU acceleration, it will last like a minute or so. Depends on the resolution of the image. So let's try it. I'm just clicking on remove all spikes. Star radius is actually a pixel size radius of the star. If you have a larger star in the image that will be bigger than 400 pixels, then you can move this slider, and this slider is for how many stars you want to include in this removal. Let's say you want to include just the brightest star, but the model will see that the less brighter star doesn't have any spikes, so it will also neglect those. It's a feature that you can use, but you will probably always have it on 0. So let's try it now. And you will see in the command line it read passes 6. So it has 6 passes on 6 different rotations. It will rotate 6 times and try to remove the spikes from all the angles on the image. As you can see, it lasts a bit longer. It's not that bigger resolution, but here it is. Let me see what resolution, 3800. And now all the spikes are removed. Of course, these are very particular set of spikes, and the model doesn't recognize the pattern of the spikes, so that's why there is a significant residual, but this is only for the demonstration purposes. And that's it. You can now see that all the spikes are removed from the multi-angled feature that is available now in the module. Another Hubble image of NGC 7331. Once again, we have some additional spikes on a few stars here, and down here we have a 4-spike pattern and 1 spike here and here. Very strange formation, and this star has 4 standard, 4 here and additional here and here. So this is not a spike, this is just 2 spikes. So very strange definition of spikes here in the image. So let's try a regular. So a regular process of the model to see what it does. This is actually something that you also want. When you want to remove just 4 spikes, you can do that, and it leaves you with the 4. Because of this angle is more to 45 degrees, it will recognize that faster than this one that is offsetted some more. Let me see here, down here, what it did. Nothing. So this is a spike feature that it doesn't recognize. So it removed only these spikes on the 45 angle degree, and it didn't do anything to these stars. So again, multi-angle feature, remove all spikes patterns, and let's run it again. Again, it's slower. It has 4 passes, so it recognized probably 4 rotations. Okay, and here it is. It downgraded all the visible spikes, even those tiny ones here. And down here, the spikes are also gone, but they're still visible. They are not entirely removed. So now we can use a star layer method. Let's select star exterminator and let's try it again with the star layer engaged. So it will first extract the stars, and then it will go to the multi-angle, and then it will go to the model that will remove all the angled spikes. Let's do that now. The strength will be 1. And it's done. The spikes are still visible, like we had with the normal, without star layer. So now we can try, let me back it up. Now we can try not removing, but enhancing the strength. Let's say 1.5 all the way up, and try it again. And now you can see all the spikes are gone. When we have a star only mask, layer, not mask, then we can bump up the strength, because we will not have any over subtraction, because everything is happening on the star only layer. It did have left this particular spike because it probably thinks it's a part of some nebula or something, but it did a very good job by removing all the visible spike. Okay, here we have another problem. I didn't see this, but it's not perfect, but it does the job fairly well. Now let's try one of my images. I already shown this image in my previous examples when I did the manual rotations to get rid of the double spikes, and now you don't have to do that anymore. You have a multi-angle feature. Let's try it immediately with the none of the star layer, just plain old image, and see what it does. Fairly well, but we have some over subtraction. We always have this on this image, at least I do. You can see this a bit of the dark area, but it did a great job removing all the spike layers. So we have 8 of them, and it did a good job. So now let's engage the star exterminator. All the rest is the same, and let's apply it. And now the dark areas of over subtraction are gone, and all the layers of the spikes are removed. Pretty cool. Let's revert back. Of course, if you don't want to remove all the spikes, you can just engage with the normal removal. Now it will recognize only one position, probably the 90 degree, as we had it before. So you can get rid of the double spike. Okay, it got rid of all of the spikes. So this angle it recognized, and it can remove it by default. Let's do a clean with no star exterminator. And now it's more visible here, but okay. If you want to leave the spike, you can always mask the spikes that you want to remove. Let's now move on to the why this multi-angle feature is inserted in this module. Because of the camera lens spikes. In this image that was taken with the Samyang lens, we have this spike patterns on the larger stars. That's normal for the 9-blade aperture on the lens, and all the stars will have these spikes when you are shooting with Samyang. Of course, every other lens has the same issues, but in different blade shapes, because not all of the lenses have 9 blades. But it will work on all of them. So what the script does now, the module, of course it calculates the rotations and it removes spike by spike. Be aware, this is a CPU intensive process, because it will have many passes, and after every pass it has to apply the model. So if you have more than 10 passes, that's 10 times applying the model on the image. If you have more, even more. The GPU is a lot faster, but it also tends to have a minute or two of the processing. It all depends on the resolution of the image. Of course, if it's a big resolution, it will tend to go longer, but that's a sacrifice for a beautiful, natural looking star. So let's try it. We will try it on just on an image without applying any star layer, and I will apply multi-angle and see what it does. Let's see first if we don't have this option applied. Let's just see what it does with a regular image with those kind of spikes. And here it is. It will remove some of the spikes that he can recognize, especially this one on this axis and on this, and probably on the 45 angle. As we can see, it did just that, but it didn't remove all the spikes. So now I want to apply this option and run it again. And now he will calculate the rotations. You can see here 9 rotations, and that's a 9-blade lens so it's accurate. So you'll see now it's taking a much longer because it has to have 9 passes of the model. And here it is. It's much better because the spikes are all removed, and we can see here same thing. Now we have a problem where we are removing some signal from this area, and that I don't like. So what can we do? We can apply a star layer, and that way we can extract the stars again and apply the same principle on that layer. So let me do that now. And again, this will go first the star exterminator, and then it will read again 9 passes. It will do 9 times applying the model. And if you're on a CPU with a 30 megapixel image, you will have to wait. You can always crop a particular star and apply it faster so you can see the effect. That's an option, of course. And here it is. Now we can see this star, and we are not affecting this part of the signal, and that's beautiful. Great. While we are on this image, I can show you an additional feature of the dark line repair. So we did remove the spikes from here, but we can now see the separation of this black lines from this light lines. And of course, when we look at the image from this far, it looks okay, but I want to make it even more natural if I can. So let me apply now this experimental feature. It will close all the options because this feature doesn't work with the AI model. It does work with the star layer. But for now, I will make it without one. And let's just apply the default options and see what it does. And here it is, my friends. You see what it does? It actually brightens the black parts of the lines in the stars and make them more natural. And here is the problem. Immediately, it does very good job on this star because it's on the black background, but if a star is near some signal, it will be a problem. That's why it's experimental. Let's try it with a star exterminator, because then we will extract the stars and apply this same feature on stars only. So now it will go to the star exterminator first, extract the stars and apply the dark line repair. And here it is. Now you can see it applied the repair only on the star. Let's see this star. Beautiful. And now it's a more natural looking star. Of course, these little stars will be quite difficult. It did apply some of this on the stars as well. And you can use masking if you don't want that. I will show that a bit later. Let's see this. Beautiful. It closed these gaps very efficiently on this particular star. So now we have some better looking stars on the images with the Samyang lens. Nice. Now let's move on to my friend Sirius. Why so serious? As you can see on this star that is also shot with a Samyang lens on a 6D Canon, and we have these black spikes on this star, and that is something that I really don't like. And to fix this, I always had to dodge and burn this part of the star, and it tends to be long, especially if you have more than one star. And now we can fix this with Spikeless. But first we can apply, let's say we can apply the dark line repair. Just bring it on, no star layer, and it's already looking beautiful. It's very good. But if we want even better, we can apply the model first. As you can see, you have some bright lines here in form of a spike. The model width will register that as a spike and it will remove it. So we can apply the model first, and you'll see what the model will do. As you can see, those bright lines are now removed. The problem is that I didn't click on remove all spike patterns, so you can rotate and remove all those tiny spikes. So let's do that now. So now you can play with this triple option. Not triple, but 4 options actually. The model, the star layer, multi-angle, and the dark line repair. You have all set up for the beautiful repair of the star. And now we'll see what he did here. So these are now a bit softer, and when we apply now the same options on this star, we'll have some even more natural looking image of this Sirius star. Of course, we have some residual here, but it's not so nasty. It doesn't affect the viewing when you're looking from this part, from this zoom. So this is a very nice looking star now. I can just point out something that you can additionally do to even fix this. You can apply it again. You can apply the model again. So let's do that. You can see a bright lines here. Sorry, I didn't apply this option. Let's apply the model again with remove all spike patterns. And here it is. He did remove something here and here. And now if we apply the dark line repair again, so second time, now it will go even better. We can boost up the detection so it detects better this part. And here it is. Even better. We can lower down the radius because it will have some halo effect after a while. And we even fix this part a bit better, so now it's even more natural. Beautiful. Now let's move to my Andromeda that was shot with a Canon lens, and it has some very ugly spike formations. As you can see, I very much dislike this pattern for the star, and I would like to fix it because I do like the image. For this, I will just crop out this star for the purposes of the demonstration. I would not do that. I would probably just mask the star. I will show that later. And minimize this so we can do it faster on this smaller section of the image. So what can we do here? First of all, we have some spike pattern here. So let's try to remove, let me reset the module, and let's just try to remove the spikes. Just plain old spike removal. Of course, it did nothing because we didn't apply the remove all spike patterns. Let me do that. Again, it did something. It's okay, particularly on these stars, but I would like to fix this star. Again, we are applying the same thing that we did on Sirius, but Sirius had the pattern a bit better and it was easier to manipulate the spikes and the dark lines. This is much different star. It's smaller and the diffraction spikes are different. Do I like this? I don't know. Let me try. So this is now experimenting with the star profile here, using all the options available on this module. So let's try the star exterminator, and we can even boost up some strength and see what it does. You're searching for the best results. After a while, you will know exactly what to do for your particular star image. Is this better? Yes, I think it's a bit better. Let me try on the full strength and see what it does. I really don't know. It did something. Okay, it's almost the same. Okay, let's try it a regular. Just don't apply anything, just apply the regular model on the stretched image for this star profile. And then we'll move on to the dark line repair. Okay, let's say this is okay. Now let's engage with the dark line repair and apply it. And we already have a better result, but this is not over yet. Let me now boost up the fill, so the fill can be at least the brightness of this part of the image. Some more. Let's say this is enough. Now we have some very strange formation, but what we can do here is apply again. Just lower the fill to 1.5 detection, because we now again have these holes, and we can apply again the dark line repair, because the dark line repair repairs the dark lines on the stars. And now you see. Let's boost up the fill and boost up the detection. It's all fun and games here. So here you have even more. It's looking better now. And now, let's say I don't want to play with dark line. I now want to use star exterminator and try to remove these residual spikes if he can. It did nothing. So This is the part where you can play with it and see what goes and what doesn't. So this part didn't actually achieve anything, and the star profile is still the same. Okay, let me go back to this part and I will try all, and I will boost up the radius again. And it's not that bad. All the additional stars are now like little suns with less of this diffraction. This could be better, but it's much better than the original. Now here's the star profile that we got with this method. It's not perfect, of course, because it is experimental, and I will work on that some more to even polish it and make it even better. But I really don't like this star, and I very much do like this one for this image. It has a glow, a bit of the glow, and this is something that you can also play with the radius, because the radius is having some glow applied on the star to fill those gaps in the dark lines, and you can, that's why the radius is here, so you can reduce that glow on the star and fill out just the black parts of the lines. And that's it. And for the last image we have this Abell or Abell 12. This is image from my friend Tome. Shout out to my friend Tome from the river. And this has some very nice black lines and halo and the spike and also Abell. Here it is. So how can we fix this? Let's say we don't want to fix or remove the spike because the spike is great. Let's just use the dark line repair. And when I apply it, let's apply the regular option. It does the great job immediately, but now you can see that the radius is a bit slow. I want to extend it a bit more, so you can, so let's say, move it here, and the radius will now be much longer to have this particular brightness to go over to the end of the halo. And it's already looking better. We close the holes. We have to be careful of that halo, of the glow that we are making with the radius, so have in mind that this is there. Let's say this is okay. And now we can go this far to engage star exterminator and lower the glow now, the radius, and detection on the highest and the fill, let's say, on 2. Now he will extract the star and apply this set of options, and let's see what happens. There are still black lines here and there, so let's see if he can fix it. He is already done, and he did fix it. And the star is looking even nicer. There's nothing we can do about this halo. It is what it is, but it's a far better looking star than it was in the beginning. Let's see the before after. Before, after. Before, after. When I think of it, this looks like a nuclear sign logo, and we don't want that. Far better looking star. It doesn't attract your eye with those holes anymore, and the Abell is visible and we didn't affect any signal on the Abell, is still visible as it was, with that tiny red line across the circle. It's even more visible now. Before, after, before, after. We have two stars here also, we didn't affect them. We are just manipulating brightness in this dark levels. We don't make the pixels. So that will be it for this upgrade. I hope you will enjoy it. For those who bought the Spikeless already, you will have an update via repository, and those who are willing to buy it, you now have additional 3 options to choose for the regeneration of your stars. We are now going to the territory away from the Newtonian telescopes. You can now fix your spikes on your lenses, and you can now fix your dark lines on your stars that you're getting from some obstructions that you have on a telescope. It doesn't have to be Newtonian. All kinds of telescopes have this, even lenses, so you can manipulate it via this experimental feature. I will work on that some more to even enhance it if it can be enhanced, and see you in another one. Bye.